Welcome back to Phil and Watches. I'm Phil and this is the watch. Yo, so this is the Black Bay 58. I got it not too long ago and I have been wearing this watch a lot. Matter of fact, it's became part of my wrist and I have to wear my other watches in my other hand. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about why I love this model and compare it to my other watches in my collection and why I think this could be a one watch collection. So remember to like and subscribe because I like to feel that someone is watching my videos and I'm not talking to myself. So the box is your standard rectangular Tudor box. There's nothing special. Like I said, I much preferred pouches or travel cases that you could take with you, like Nomos or IWC does. So yeah, it's your square rectangular box. The Black Bay 58 is a fairly new watch that came out in 2018. It was an instant hit due to its size, design, and history. It draws inspiration from the 41mm Black Bay Red and the Tudor Oyster Prince model 7922. It's a nice combination between modern and vintage, and that's what gets people nowadays. So I'm gonna hit you with some specs. So the Black Bay 58 have a stainless steel case and bracelet, a deploying clasp, 60 click bezel, sapphire crystal, and a 58mm diameter case. Of course, Black Bay 58, right? So, I like the design language of the watch. It shows that unlike Rolex, Tudor actually listens to the audience and to the fans because we have been wanting a vintage-inspired dive watch that is well-sized for a while now, and boy did they deliver. The movement is the in-house caliber MT5402, which is a badass movement. I love the 72 hours of power reserve. It's also cost certified and mine runs about plus 2 seconds a day, so that's very good. It's hackable and can be hand wound. What else do you need? This model will have no other complications. Personally, I like dates. I go on them a lot. But I like dates. They're pretty useful, but I like the balance of the simple design too. Balanced, right? The dial of the Black Bay 58 is lovely. It's pretty much the same as the Black Bay Red model. It's very legible. I like the space of the Black Bay 58. The dial seems more full and nice. The overall gilded design is what makes the watch look elegant and classy. Just like me, right? So one thing that surprised me is how good the Lume is. It's a cream and green color most of the day, and it just catches the Lume super well. So often when you look down on your wrist, you could just see the Lume when it's bright outside, which is, I don't get that. Yeah, I don't get that on watches usually. So I was kidding about the 58mm case. It's actually 39mm, and the lug width is 20mm, thickness of 11.9mm, and a 47mm of lug to lug. So this watch is slim. It's shady slim. And you can't really feel it on the wrist. The 20mm lugs allow you to change strap very easily. I'm a bracelet guy, so I don't. The lug to lug is 47mm, which makes it fit very nicely on the wrist. On my, 6.5-inch chopstick wrist, it fits very nice, and it's good to see that for a change. So the bezel is very sleek looking. I love the touch of red at the 12 o'clock, and it's a good reference to the older models. It has a good history too. It feels clicky. My favorite thing about this watch is when you push the bezel down and turn it, it catches on the 12, which makes it very useful when you're deep sea diving, ice diving, or even desk diving. The classy snowflake hands are super cool. Get it? Snow and cool? Yeah. It makes telling the time very easy. The minute hand extends all the way to the edge of the dial, which I like. The indices are applied very nicely. It got all the shape. It got rectangles, circles, triangles, Illuminati, you name it. The clasp is good too, but not great. It is comfortable, but it lacks micro adjustment. The bracelet is pretty well made. It's got nice brushing and finishing, and it's very comfortable. However, you have those rivets, which have no purpose, and well, most of the time I don't see it, so it's fine, but I don't dig it. So for dive watches, size doesn't matter, right? Like I said in earlier videos, I tend to prefer my dive watches to be, you know, a millimeter or two bigger than my normal day-to-day watches because I like the dial to be bigger. This one is refreshing to see, right? How nice it fits on the wrist. So I think it's a nice compromise to have a smaller case, but fits nicer on the wrist. So this is a steal of a watch. At $3,500, I think other companies are really struggling to beat it at the dive watch categories because it's so good for its price. It's got in-house movement with 72 hours of power reserve, applied indices and markers, good brand history, 200 meters of water resistance. I mean, those are what makes this watch popular. If you go on forums, you could often ask, right, what is the best sub $4,000 watch? And this always comes up because for the price it's just hard to beat. So I've been praising this watch quite a bit, but what are some downsides, right? Because every watch have downsides and this one have no exception. So first of all, you have no quick adjust, right? So often at summer times or even hotter parts of the day, your wrist expands and it feels kind of uncomfortable sometimes when you're wearing it. Also, the rivets, like I said, are a downside for sure. For example, the Mark 18 have a bracelet with no rivets and nice quick adjust. Tudor needs to catch on. And they also have been quality issues with the alignments of the bezel and indices. So that is kind of risky. You shouldn't have to roll the dice on a $4,000 watch, right? Who is this watch for? Well, if you want a one watch that does everything, right? You could go into the water, you could just do it for dressy situations, wear for dressy situations. I think this watch will fit the bill very well. It has great specs for the pro money and good brand history. So if you like Rolex or Tudor as a brand, or if you just want a watch that doesn't go wrong, this is the pick. So the question for this week is, which one is your favorite Tudor watch? For me, actually, I think it has to be the North Flag. I personally own the North Flag, but I sold it. But it's such a cool watch and I regret selling it. So I think that would be my favorite watch that Tudor makes. What's yours? Let me know in the comments below. And remember to like and subscribe. Thanks! In the next episode of Fear and Watches, we're going to talk about this watch. Tune in. And thanks for watching. You're the best. Right there, you are the best.